Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Sneople at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids whose parents told them they weren't allowed to pick the Netflix rental anymore, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Ezra. I use they-them pronouns.
I'm Helena. I use she/her pronouns.
And I'm Matty. I use they/them pronouns.
This is our animated film episode, part one of what we might be a two-parter for now, but we will definitely talk about animated films more in the future because it's a huge topic that we are all very passionate about.
Yes. So we initially wanted to do an episode on animated movies because we were all in the same town at the same time for New Year's, and we went to go see Into the Spider-Verse, and I had already seen it, so I kind of dragged them to go see it again. And we all loved it, as I think everyone and their mom did. And then a couple days ago, Disney had an announcement for the new live-action version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And all three of us were pretty upset about that, obviously. I tweeted at both of them, look at what they've done! So we decided this would be a great place to start for our first inaugural episode of Sneople at the Movies. So here it is. Here we are.
We're here. We're queer, and at least on Ezra's behalf, I super respect the amount of work and craft that goes into animated film, but a lot of the time it just kind of doesn't hold my interest for some reason. I feel the same way about animated television. It's just, I'm like, that's amazing. I could never do anything that cool with my hands in my whole freaking life, but I just can't pay attention to it a lot of the times. And Into the Spider-Verse hit me like a ton of bricks. It was so beyond anything that I imagined that animated film could be.
Yeah. Which and coming from my end of it, I have loved animated films my whole life. My dad does some animation stuff, and it's always really just entranced me, even into adulthood. I kept getting, when Ezra and I lived together, I kept being like, do you want to watch this show? And you were like, I'll give it a shot. God bless your heart. You certainly tried for me. But I've continued to love it my whole life. So when they were doing the trailers for Into the Spider-Verse, I was following the fuck out of them. I could honestly go on for, I think the future of animation is suddenly very, very bright. But that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat that you're in, Matty. When I was a kid, the only other career choice that I considered was being a storyboard artist for Pixar. Very briefly, that's what I wanted to do. And I'm the one person in my family who gets supremely defensive about animated movies because it's just a constant battle. And yeah, so everything that was going on in this movie from every level, not just the animation, but also the script, also the voice acting. It was just, they were doing stuff in that movie that I'd never seen done in animated film before, which is, I've seen a lot of animated movies, and that's quite impressive.
Yeah, it was fucking solid. So I was doing a little bit of, I looked this up actually, because I was talking about how they actually made the movie, because I think a lot of criticism with current animated film is that it all kind of looks the same, especially when you look at Disney stuff. So much of their concept art is just fucking phenomenal. Shout out to concept artists. Y'all don't get enough fucking respect in this house. I mean, in my house you do, but that's beside the point. And then they all kind of end up looking same face. They stick to something that is very safe and familiar, and you could do such great things with CGI. Most of that movie, most of Into the Spider-Verse was CGI, and part of the reason why it looked so cool and interesting is there was some hand-drawn elements, but so much of it wasn't. That was computer generated. Those were computer effects, and that's what made it pop. And it's we could do shit like that. It's possible to have stylized CGI, and we can really do things like that. And so much of the forefront of animation hasn't been doing stuff like that, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah. And one of the one of the things that I thought Spider-Verse did really well too was that I mean, like all across the board, there was so much love for its subject and the fans of comic books, but also of animation. So the way that they were using different animation styles in that movie, especially, I mean, I don't know, spoiler warning, but that's in the trailers, like bringing all of these different characters and different versions of Spider-Man in, and then utilizing with that different animation styles and paying homage to them was really wonderful to see as well.
I will say,
again, like what you're saying, go ahead. I was just patting out my speech.
Okay, I was gonna say my like one beef was with Penny. I would say spoiler alert, but like if you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse by now, like, I'm sorry, that sucks. Yeah, stop listening to this show and go see it. What's wrong with you?
Mute this part. Just mute
right.
it. Right,
exactly. Is the way that they animated Penny was not. And part of this is my comic book history, and part of it is also my like log and storied history with anime. Is that she was more based on like traditional big robot stuff, and they decided to go for a more modern take with her, which isn't in line with kind of. But to be fair, it was instantly recognizable. But I think there was a better way to have approached that character. That was my only beef, was her stylization. I felt was not great for a couple of reasons.
Would you have liked to have seen her look a little more distinct from the rest of the Spider folks? Because I was familiar with all of the other, like, at least the existence of all of the other Spider characters, except for, and then it was like, who's the little girl in the mecha suit? And I felt like she was the only one who kind of didn't bring as much of her own distinct drawing style with her.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I think so this is interesting because we have two different perspectives on this character. We come from two like very different points of view on it. Where for me, I would have liked. I didn't necessarily felt that she was too similar to the other ones. I felt that the way they approached her as like, oh, we want to. I think she's half Japanese in the comics, if I recall. That doesn't really matter. They were like, we want to do an anime style for her. That's fine. She's based on like big mecha anime, so thinking more like Neon Genesis and like Gundam and shit like that, like the big robots. And they went with more of a slice of life, super modern style for her, which I think was a pretty decent shorthand for anime. But I felt was also not necessarily the best way to approach that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Separate note. I'm sorry, I'm here to enthuse about. I'm not letting this go without me getting to be like, hey, guess what? Doc Ock. Oh my god, I'm gay.
Every single, like, person who loves women that I've, like, queer person who loves women I've seen has been like, Doc Ock was super hot, and you know what? They're all right. They're all valid.
It's true.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah.
Unfortunately about Peter B. Parker, sadly.
Also fair, yeah. Every queer person who loves men has also been like, I'd fuck Peter Parker.
Yeah. I think there we go. I think we should be like, hey, this movie, let's start that out with, like, you know, there's like all those jokes about like, oh, we've got to include some stuff for the dads. But in my humble opinion, Doc Ock was for the lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, yeah, like for the women love women. Let's get back.
So I think in comparison to talking about the future of animation, now that we're talking about the future of animation, I think Spider-Verse has really opened the door for something very, very cool. And on the other side of the coin, I think the Disney live-action remakes are opening a bad door. I don't like the door that's opening.
Oh, man. like Spider-Verse, it's so many things about it were, I feel like a risk. I hate calling it a risk. I really don't want to talk about it like that. That movie said yes to cool thoughts, clearly, that people had. It just, that movie really felt like a bunch of really creative, enthusiastic people sat around and went, hey, what if we did this? And everybody went, oh, fuck yeah, that sounds super awesome. Let's see if it'll work, instead of, I don't know, like, is that gonna be appealing to the absolute widest possible demographic? Like, that movie doesn't really worry about whether you understand every tiny element of what's going on.
Right.
Like, it's great if you do. It's great if you know, if you know what all of these alternate spider people are. But Miles doesn't really know what's going on a lot of the time. He's pretty wrong-footed for a lot of the movie. And the storytelling just goes like, hey, you get to discover this story along with the protagonist, and that's fine.
Yeah, he's a little bit of an audience stand-in. I know a lot of people at the very end where it was like, anyone can wear the mask, you can wear the mask. First of all, very cool that they had this like mixed Black and Latino kid who was like the audience stand-in a little bit. Like, we were supposed to feel and be with like Miles, like he was our eyes, and that's like very, very, very cool. But I think you're right in that, like, this movie was a love letter to a lot of, and it was a love and a passion letter to, hey, like, kids like me who just like have always loved Spider-Man and will always love Spider-Man. It was like, hey, I see you, but also like kids who don't know Spider-Man very well, or people who don't know Spider-Man very well, like, I see you too, like, here's something for you to get hyped up about. It did so well because so many people loved it and wanted other people to love it. And I feel like the live action is like, hey, remember this thing you loved? Well, love it again. And give me money.
Yeah, that is true. The Disney live action ones are, I don't know. I mean, and this is coming from somebody who, like, I'm not even gonna say confession, because it's not something I'm ashamed of. I own the live action remake of Cinderella on Blu-ray.
Okay,
I
but
own
it's good.
2 Blu-rays. It's because it's good. It has heart. It looks beautiful. The performances are winning. It is a well-told story. And it doesn't feel like an obligatory retread of something or a pale imitation. Like, Beauty and the Beast felt like... Beauty and the Beast didn't have any heart for me, really. That was my beef with it, at the end of the day, was the animated movie has a lot of soul. It's a very... It earns its emotional beats. And the live action one just didn't, for me, for a really long list of reasons. That's like, I mean, we can get into that if you want.
We'll get into
also, my utter and complete bafflement. There were so many people who were like, I know so many people who were like, I wanted to fuck Dan Stevens in that movie. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
People are idiots.
Oh, God.
Why?
I mean, to each their own, I suppose, but...
I mean, yeah, like, obviously, there's as my dad occasionally likes to say, that's what makes horse races. I don't really understand that one. I think it's because you can't bet on horse races if, like, people don't bet on different horses. If everybody bets on the same horse, then you can't bet. I don't know. He says that sometimes.
I know,
I've never really questioned it until now. I mean, yeah, no, it makes sense, but it's one of those things I just realized that I can just hear my dad going, that's what makes horse races. And he's not really like an aphorisms kind of a guy.
I can also hear your dad saying that.
I think the thing about Cinderella too is that, and even arguably, I guess, I actually haven't seen Maleficent, but I know that was kind of one of the first ones that they kind of did that was sort of doing this for Sleeping Beauty, where it was like I mean, Cinderella is a little bit more faithful, but they took more liberties with adapting the animated film. It wasn't like we are doing a live action remake entirely of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Like, we're gonna do all of the musical numbers. We're going to do Be Our Guest. We're going to have this scene and this character and these, extras and like this set. It was really. I think because they know that Beauty and the Beast is such an iconic film for them, like recently, in a way that Cinderella has kind of faded out of memory for some people, where it's like, you can't, it's almost like they knew that you can't do this again, so we're just going to do the same one, but make it worse.
This is a really weird thing, but did anybody else feel like the Beauty and the Beast remake suffered from the same problem that the Marvel movies do, where it's lit like it's like the lighting makes it look like it was filmed in a Walmart parking lot?
Yes.
So I didn't actually see the Beauty and the Beast remake.
For the love of God, don't bother. It's awful.
I don't want to.
I mean, it's a million years long, for one thing. Maddie, what you should do instead of watching Beauty and the Beast is find... and this can be a plug as well, Lindsay Ellis's video about Beauty and the Beast, which may just be subtitled "Thanks, I Hate It." Let me find it.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll tweet we'll make sure we tweet that link, because you've mentioned this to me before, and I need to actually watch it. But this is, I mean, part of the reason that I bought the Cinderella live action on Blu-ray. As opposed to, and I literally only own 2 Blu-rays. I don't buy Blu-rays. I just buy DVDs because I buy secondhand DVDs. It is visually very, very inviting. The colors are incredibly saturated and rich and beautifully contrasted, and it's literally just well lit. There's the nights are velvety black, and the daylight scenes are warm and golden. And then it makes the scenes where she's having a really rough time, and all of a sudden it's like dark and cold, and it each scene has its own like visual tone.
I want to fucking watch this movie again. Forget the podcast. Let's just watch Cinderella again.
Yeah, fuck it. Forget bye, everybody. We're gonna go watch Cinderella. And you should too. No. But Beauty and the Beast, like, the whole movie feels like it was shot
in a Walmart parking lot
in the Pacific North. Well, but it's funky because now I'm thinking about it, and honest to God, it feels like the kind of Overcast that it is in the Puget Sound area in the winter where I live.
Oh my god, dude,
right
wait.
now.
Okay, do you remember... Here's a little bit of jump. Do you remember the lighting in the Twilight movies? You remember what they fucking looked like? Does it look like that? Where everything's just washed out?
Yes, it does.
No, because there's something oddly... maybe I'm just misremembering them because it's been years since I've seen them. There's something oddly, like, colorful in only one way about the Twilight movies, where they're just kind of like very blue and green.
They are, yeah.
Like they're all lit very coolly. With Beauty and the Beast, it wasn't even like that. There wasn't really anything special about the lighting. It was just kind of like, well, it just looks like bad. And not to hate on digital filmmaking, because it's doing a lot of good things as well. Yeah. But it just looks like shitty digital filmmaking, or like unoriginal digital filmmaking. Where it's just like, I don't know.
It looks like they ran out of time, and the thing that they decided to skip was color grading. Which, I mean, God, that's like a 45-minute rant right there, which we're gonna not go on. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah. So, here's something that I was thinking about. We were talking about like CGI earlier, as I was very loudly complaining that nobody uses CGI for stylization. And I can't help but think, like, part of the reason that they keep doing the Disney remakes of these things, that they are trying to make them look lifelike, but the whole part of the enjoyment of those movies was that they were fantastical, and they were very stylized, and they were very like if they tried to do a live action remake of Sleeping Beauty, that's not a great example, actually. I I'm trying to think, like Cinderella is like the one thing where like most everything in Cinderella is a person, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But then but they did have, you know, they had the animals turning into servants and stuff. And it didn't look out of place against the human people in the film. Like they matched.
Right. Whereas I feel like that's fair.
Which is hard to do. But the stuff in Beauty and the Beast...
Well, you were talking about this kind of where it's... Like, the Be Our Guest number is a really good example of this, because it's one that uses almost entirely CGI, because it's all of the household characters singing it. And when I saw it, I thought that the song was a lot slower. And it's a song that I've listened to, obviously, like a million times and know very well. And so they obviously slowed it down, not just for reasons for the actors singing it, but also there's something extremely, if you watch the animated version, there's something extremely kinetic about it, and the way that what's happening on screen matches up with the music. And it's not that you can't do that with CGI, but it's kind of like anything that was really innovative or interesting like that, or the crane shot in the ballroom dancing scene in Beauty and the Beast that's goes up to the ballroom ceiling and then swoops down around them as he spins Belle around. I mean, that's incredibly beautiful to watch, and it was also impressive because it was something that they were trying, you know, that was new and different.
Yeah, the idea of using those kind of techniques with animate, yeah. Oh man, I'm just like mentally basking in the glory of that shot, because it's so. Yeah. I think kinetic really is the right word. It's something that the animated, a lot of those Disney animated films, they flow in a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really hard to translate that, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think that it should be done.
It doesn't add, I mean, it certainly doesn't add anything.
I mean, when it comes down to the reason why I hate the very idea of a lot of the live action remakes is that there's a lot of reasons, but the main reason is that it's presupposing that we are offering you this thing which is inherently better because it is new. We have this technology now, and it is therefore better technology than what we had before. Or like, this is now better because it's live action, and live action is better, or CGI is better. Because, especially since Disney has officially said, you know, after Princess and the Frog, you know, we're not doing cell animation or hand-drawn animation anymore. We are only doing CGI movies anymore. To further take that step and say, we are going to, take these films, which were such important movies to you in your childhood, and try and pre-package them again, pre-package your nostalgia for you and sell it to you. But also we're going to imply that we can improve on it somehow by taking away like one of the most important things about it, the thing that actually made it special to begin with. So that's why I hate it. In a nutshell.
I am 1000% on board with that. And like, I hate this. This is not to say that I will not, unfortunately, go see the fucking live action Dumbo thing. And do you want to know why? Do you want to know
I know
fucking why? It's because Colin goddamn Farrell is in it. And you know what? He plays a dad. And I'm like, nope, all of my self-control goes out the window. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for the podcast episode after the live-action Dumbo movie comes out, when Ezra spends like 20 minutes yelling about how bad it was, and also the fact that I cried about Colin Farrell. I don't even know. I'm like, I don't even know who he plays. Is he wearing a vest in it? Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he's wearing like an old-fashioned waistcoat, and he has good hair, and he's a dad. It's a nightmare.
God damn it.
I'm mostly a lesbian.
I'm like looking at it. God, I hate it.
Please look it up.
Look at his dumb hair.
I hate this. I'm gonna go see the live-action Dumbo movie.
One thing that I hate and love about Colin Farrell right now is that he's kept his Fantastic Beast haircut, apparently.
Yeah, he has.
It's like this kind of, I mean, sort of, like the undercut that he had for it. Oh, he's in clown makeup in this. Is Tim Burton directing this?
Wait, who is?
Oh my god!
Who's directing the live-action Dumbo movie?
Tim Burton is directing.
So I went to see Mary Poppins with my parents, and there was a trailer for the live-action Dumbo movie, and there was the teaser trailer for the live-action Aladdin movie, which it was very funny. I figured out that it was the live-action Aladdin movie within about 9 seconds, and I said something out loud quietly, and my dad looked over and went, how did you know that? And I'm like, don't question it.
What iconic song did they tease to make you remember your childhood?
I'm not even sure that they did. I don't think it was the music.
Oh, okay.
I think it was something.
I have to find the trailer now.
Oh, it's a terrible I mean, the trailer's really not cut very well, and it looks sad. Because it's not. Does. I can tell it's not gonna be. It's not fantastical enough. It doesn't have the same oomph. If that makes any sense. I mean, that's the thing with those old with the style, the things that the stylization of animation can do, where it can be so larger than life, is so much of the appeal.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's something that Into the Spider-Verse did so well. You've got things that you've got really, contained, heartfelt, human feeling emotions. And you also have big, splashy, comic book, exciting things, and they can coexist. And the Disney live-action films are over here sacrificing the splash for
realism.
Sweet bugger all. Yeah, they're realism, and it's this sucks now.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer without the sound off, and I mean, it's the Cave of Wonders looks bullshit.
I know, right? Come on. It's not even... It's supposed to be the fucking tiger head. It was terrifying and exhilarating when you were a kid. I mean, shit, yeah. Aladdin came out... I don't know. I don't feel like looking 92. This up. Aladdin came out when I was young. I saw it when I was very little. I mean, I was born in 1991, so, that gives you a timeline for Ezra's age, circa Disney movies. And I remember that being very thrilling, because it made an impact. It was imaginative and daring, and the characters felt like they were very brave.
1992.
For interacting with these environments. Okay, so I probably saw it when I was pretty little. I mean, 5, maybe? I remember freaking loving Aladdin. But all of these... I mean, but then, animated Beauty and the Beast. Belle feels brave for dealing with the Beast. Aladdin and Jasmine feel brave for dealing with the fantastical, magical things that Jafar can conjure up. Because the environments are so dynamic. And it makes you invested in those characters. And then when the live action stuff, you don't have the same, you can't have the same contrast where brave, scrappy heroes look super small and by these big, overwhelming landscapes. You just can't have the same kind of exaggerations of scale.
If not to disagree, so the thing about Spider-Verse,
you can disagree. No. You want. There's no reason. The thing is,
I don't necessarily disagree. What is so frustrating to me is something that Spider-Verse really brought to mind is you can do those things with CGI though, or with a combination of CGI and live action. True. Is New York City is very big, and you see this little teeny kid at the top of this very big building. And he jumps and it's exhilarating, and you feel that same feeling that I had when I was a kid, and Aladdin goes into the Cave of Wonders. Like, it's that same feeling. It's just that they don't. They can break the laws of realism with CGI. They just won't. And it's very frustrating. And I also, like, I agree with what you're saying, was the end of that, is, like, they're losing something, and it's not something that they have to lose, it's something that they're choosing to give up.
I think that's a very fair distinction, where it lowers the stakes unnecessarily. There's no reason to make these movies feel small, because they're not making them feel intimate. They're just making them feel small.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, like, you know, growing up, and I guess currently as well, I was obsessed with The Lion King. That was my Disney movie, my number one Disney movie. And thinking about, like, the story that my dad tells is that I was too young to see it in theaters. It came out in 94, and my parents rightly did not take me.
Oh yeah, I was too. No, my parents did. I was 3. My parents didn't take me.
But he did go with my cousin Matt, who was 11 years older than me, and they got there late. So my dad and my cousin had to squeeze into the front row of The Lion King just as Circle of Life was starting. And it was just absolutely, you know, awe-inspiring to see that for the first time. So that's something too, where it's like, it's what we've already talked about with, like, the whole nostalgia thing, is like, yes, we're seeing the Cave of Wonders. Yes, we're seeing, you know, like, I don't know, seeing Aladdin and the magic lamp and the, you know, on the carpet, but it's not the same because we've seen this before. And just because it's CGI does not mean it's new. And that's what, like, Spider-Verse was doing well, was that I felt like I was seeing different ways of, like, doing, like, the Spidey sense thing, which is such, like, a small thing, but the fact that was, like, physically represented.
Oh my god, I was just gonna say, like, the part where you see for the first time where he gets the Spidey sense and it says "look out" in the mirror behind him, and you're like, oh god, oh, that's what it feels like for them, is it's just something like, fucking watch out. That was so...
Suddenly the back of your brain goes, hey!
That was so good. Sorry, Helena, please continue.
No, that was pretty much, and, like, the fact that they, what are they called? The Band-Aid dots? The fact that there was just, like, a slight homage to the Band-Aid dots that are in comic books, that they were, all of the characters were slightly dotted, was like, oh my god, thank you. I loved it. And it was just, like, such a small thing that they didn't need to do, but they did it, and it was great.
The attention to detail, and the attention to detail that you can have in CGI, because you have absolute control over every pixel, is like, you can bring these impossibly rich and detailed things to life in a way that the most talented costumer and makeup artist just can't do. There are limits to what you can do with physical effects. Those limits are pretty amazingly far out there, as we've seen from, you know, generations of incredibly talented artists. But it's like, man, the level of just squandered possibility in the Disney live action remakes it's sad, because, like, you could do so much. There's so, with that level of creative control, you know, you can do incredible things, and instead you just get these kind of paint by numbers rote remakes with one new thing that they can tout like crazy, like, oh, we wrote a new song for this.
What's his bucket is gay now.
Yeah, oh yeah, what, yeah, oh man, that's get Josh Gad better film roles, Jesus. He's actually really good. Hey everybody, go watch Murder on the Orient Express. Josh Gad is great. And Ezra reveals their obsession with Kenneth Branagh movies.
I mean, what was I thinking of? With the Hunchback of Notre Dame, I have no idea. See, so what I find really impressive, as somebody who's been to Paris, about that movie, is that the time and detail that they spent in recreating Notre Dame in that movie is like insane. It's so good, and it's extremely especially God Help the Outcast. That whole number is extremely beautiful. The lighting and everything, so it's just like, so what's the point? So you're gonna use the real Notre Dame?
Quasimodo's gonna fucking die. Get ready, kids.
Not to be rude.
Oh yeah, get ready everybody, because Quasimodo is going to fucking die. That cheeses me off.
That's what the thing is gonna make for
Oh god.
What?
Please don't. Please no. Matty has opened a can of worms by suggesting that the big twist for Hunchback of Notre Dame live action is going to be that Frollo's gay. Which I misheard as Frodo's gay, and I was like, well, yeah, but why are we talking about Lord of the Rings?
Babe, I'm always thinking about Lord of the Rings. That's unrelated.
I know you're always thinking about Lord of the Rings, because I am too.
Oh, man.
I mean, probably, if we're being honest. I'm looking up to see if they have any more cast. It's not just that. It's also, like, Hellfire.
There's so many things that are gonna work like shit. I mean, I'm gonna be real here. Oh god, you know what I just realized?
What?
Oh, the gargoyles are gonna be so Uncanny Valley, dude.
Oh, man. Fuck. The gargoyles are gonna fuck.
Why? Matty, why?
I'm literally just putting my chips down on anything that was within my reach, and so when the movie actually comes out, maybe I'll actually hit something.
You are a demon.
I'm gonna be the person in the fire in Hellfire.
We haven't talked about the other possibility to turn a character gay, which is, what's his bucket? Phoebus.
Hoopst?
I mean, the Kevin Kline.
Wait, I generally don't know who you're talking about.
The blonde.
Oh, the knight.
The guy who looks like he wandered out of the King Arthur.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. I didn't remember his name because I don't care about him.
That's fair. He is voiced by Kevin Kline,
probably.
Right?
Yes,
I'm not crazy.
Absolutely. Which is the only reason that I do care about him.
I mean, yeah, because I care about. I mean, boy, howdy, do I care about Kevin
Kline.
In the
fucking, the trailer that was in front of, like, every Disney VHS ever that they did for Hunchback of Notre Dame, I believe at one point he says, "What a woman," when talking about Esmeralda, and I'm like, woman. Oh, mood.
Yep.
That's very true.
Absolutely.
Also, just, like, as someone who listens to the Hunchback of Notre Dame soundtrack in my car all the time, I just keep thinking about, like, Out There, like, that opening song, which gives you such a evocative feel of, like, Paris and his life and for a song about how he's been trapped in this tower his entire life, it's so big and open, and I will not lie, I'm getting a little teary-eyed thinking about Out There. And who knows if they're even going to use that song. I would be kind of surprised if they didn't, because I feel like it's one of the more, like, iconic songs, I guess. It's such a good scene setter.
Yeah. It is. Well, and there's and actually, if you think about it, there's not a ton of songs in Hunchback.
No, there's a lot of pieces of music, but there's not a lot of lyrical songs necessarily. Yeah. They added more to the stage version that they've done.
Yeah, but this is their thing. They're like, we're gonna draw from the novel, which, okay, sure. That seems like a terrible idea. This is what
Victor Hugo would have wanted.
And yeah, and I'm like, oh man, so you're gonna add a bunch more prostitutes because that's what Victor Hugo would have wanted.
No, what Victor Hugo wants is to have Quasimodo spend time talking about the sewer system in Paris.
Probably, yeah. It's actually, like, the movie just stops midway through so Quasimodo can narrate a documentary about the sewer system of
See,
Paris.
I would watch that.
I mean, so would I.
Same.
I've been to the Paris Sewer Museum.
No, this is the live-action movie they should make.
Oh, but that's what they should do, is they should do an animated Les Mis, but they've already done an anime version, so I guess...
Yeah, they should do an animated version of Les Mis. That'd be pretty great. No, but this is, and I will say also, this is my beef with, this is one of my myriad beefs. That sounds terrible. Anyway, this is part of my extended and varied beef with the live action fucking Beauty and the Beast, is that there is a gorgeous stage musical of Beauty and the Beast. It is fabulous. It has excellent music. They have completely ignored it. There is a fantastic stage adaptation that comes from the Disney movie of Hunchback of Notre Dame, and they're like, no. And I'm like, there's gorgeous music there.
There's a fucking phenomenal stage play of The Lion King.
Stop squandering it. Yeah, the one with, oh god, the Beauty and the Beast one is like, they're like, oh, we wrote a new song for the Beast, and I'm like, If I Can't Love Her is one of the most beautiful love songs ever written for a Disney stage musical, and you just threw it away. You useless bastards. Everybody please go listen to Terrence Mann singing that song from the original Broadway cast recording of Beauty and the Beast, because you will die in a good way.
Yeah. Who I'm looking it up, who did write the new music for live action Beauty and the Beast? I feel like Alan Menken was involved with the music part of it, but
I think he's involved in Hunchback as well. I feel like they have they've been pulling in a lot of the, like, classic gang to work on these songs, and it's like, wow, what happened? Like,
true.
Why were you writing these iconic, beautiful pieces of music, and now fucking, I always just called him Father Disney in a very weird turn of phrase, but now, like, Nicholas Mouse won't let you fucking write music anymore? Like, what is this?
At least you didn't say Daddy Disney, because that would have...
Okay, well, now you have to die just for saying that, so I'm cutting that. That's getting cut.
Aw.
See, and this is, this is weird. Now I'm thinking about I'm still thinking about the Dumbo remake, and I'm realizing I don't remember a goddamn thing about the, like, actual animated movie of Dumbo.
Nobody does.
I haven't seen it, even. I don't think.
I watched it a bunch, because I liked if it had sentient animals in it, I was on board.
Oh yeah, Mood. I definitely had Dumbo on VHS.
Yeah.
Like, but elephant, big ears, and that's all I remember. Also, he had a dumb little hat.
Yeah, basically. I remember the one with the there's a weird sequence with imaginary pink elephants that look like they're made out of bubbles.
I just remember that as you started your sentence, I was like, wait.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, man, we're two on the same wavelength. Now I'm thinking about the quote unquote live action Lion King, which of course is not live action.
It's not live action.
CGI Lion King.
As far as I know, the CGI Lion King. Hey, that's a good question. It's not mocap, is it?
If it is, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Because, I mean, I don't think it is. It's not like, oh, this is Andy Serkis does a one-man mocap production of The Lion King.
Oh, please!
Which would be incredible. See, fund it. Come on, Disney. There you go. Take that all the way to the bank.
It's like those, early 2000s movies with talking dogs where their mouths move kind of weird when they talk because...
Christ, I hope that's not what it ends up being.
I mean, I feel like we've come a little bit of a ways since then, but...
True. I was thinking about, because I have seen the trailer for the CGI. I'm not calling it the live action one, for the CGI remake of The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's shot for shot identical, but I I'm trying to sort of tease out whether my feelings are basically just they changed it, now it sucks, or there's like an actual basis for that. Because my like funny story about me and the Lion King when I was a little kid is that one of my very earliest memories, I think it was the first time that I ever saw the Lion King. And I remember being so scared during the stampede that I hid behind the couch until my dad could come turn it off. Like, yeah, that's how strong of an impact that movie made on me. It was so... because it was so intense, because it's so... because of the stylistic capabilities of animation, you know, every tiny little detail can be perfectly calculated to produce an emotional effect.
Yeah, I just, with that scene specifically, I remember the angle of the shot is so, like, tension-inducing.
Oh, man, yeah.
Oh, when he comes over the ridge, too, and then all of a sudden, like, the whole, like, I don't know how many wildebeest just suddenly pour in after him. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And it should be said that was, you know, that scene was made using CGI. I mean, like, again, like, we're absolutely for, like, what Spider-Verse is doing, melding the two together. That was one of those early movies where they were testing out using computer animation in alongside hand-drawn animation. I mean, they were already kind of using computers for the hand-drawn stuff as well in a way, but they're like, we need a fuck ton of wildebeest to make it extra, to like raise the stakes, and so they used computers to, like, you know, create more wildebeest instead of, you know, hand drawing a million of them.
Yeah, you didn't have somebody, like, it's like, and Jim from, you know, the third floor's hand fell off drawing all of these wildebeests. Like, rip Jim's hand. Yeah.
This is something that we'll talk about, I'm sure, when we talk about The Great Mouse Detective. Our entire episode devoted to The Great Mouse Detective.
Because when we inevitably start talking about animated film again, somebody's gonna have to, like, long distance smack Helena to get her to stop talking about The Great Mouse Detective.
No, I'll actually just go over to her house and we'll sit in the basement, and every time you talk about Great Mouse Detective too much, I'll just knock the mic from your hand onto the ground.
Yeah.
Imagining that you're holding your mic for some reason. Look.
I actually am right now.
It's
wow.
It's the image. Yeah. It doesn't have to be lifelike. It just has to make an impact.
The tension of me smacking the mic out of Helena's hand.
Somebody really needs to work at Disney and start smacking them every time they have these ideas.
Quickly, I did want to say I'm looking at the cast for The Lion King and it's really fucking good, and I'm so pissed. Chol Ejiofor is going to be Scar, and that's going to be hottest.
It's going to be extremely hot, and I'm mad about it.
Oh shit, speaking of extremely hot animated stuff, I cannot believe I almost let us go without saying this. Spider-Verse. Okay. So the running joke, at least when we were kids, was that movies directed at children, especially animated movies, had to have, quote-unquote, something for the dads.
Babe, not to cut you off, but are you going to talk about how Doc Ock is hot again?
Yes! That's the whole point. The whole point is that Doc Ock is, like, mind-bogglingly hot. I had a big old lesbian heart attack watching that movie, and I just need the entire internet.
So did our friend Leo. I know that you and her were talking about that.
Yeah, we were just sort of like, it's, you know, she's like middle-aged and you know, looks like a probably late 40s woman. She's got kind of Professor Trelawney hair and seems really, like, kind of absent-minded professor unassuming, and then all of a sudden she, like, puts her hair up into, like, a big action beehive, and slaps on some goggles, and then she's got, like, you know, robot tentacles and is pinning people to the floor and shit, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm gay.
The doc's so hot, we had to talk about it twice. This is only a little bit of shade.
That's fair. No, I deserve a moderate amount of shade for that.
You're not alone, though.
I will take it with good grace.
I mean, there's the same amount of shame that we all have to get for finding Peter B. Parker attractive.
Yeah, as a pansexual, that scene was a rough one for me.
Yeah, man, I'm mostly a lesbian.
Welcome to Sneople At The Movies, the podcast where we love women.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good tagline.
Honestly, where we love women and occasionally men.
So we're coming kind of to the end of our time here. Real quick before I forget, I just wanted to give a shout out to Johnny for our amazing music. He can be found at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Obviously we talked a lot about a lot of different things in this episode. It is I think a big topic of conversation for all three of us. So we do intend to do a second episode at some point. We have some things planned. We want to talk about, like, the movies that shaped us as wee sprats. Helen and I have done some research on the history of animation, both in America and in Japan, because one of us grew up watching anime. There's a note here that says Helena's thesis about why baby boomers hate animated movies. Which
I'm very excited to hear. Helena's sort of sociology of film opinions is very fun.
No, this is, like, I'm very excited to hear that one. That's something that you should keep tuned for in the future. I think our next episode is actually going to be the Oscars hangover episode.
It is indeed. Are you tired of are you tired of award season film journalism? So are we. We're going to do a big Oscars hangover episode where we probably bitch about the Oscars. Both most recent ones and the great injustices of Oscar ceremonies past.
We were also talking about doing, like, the Oscars betting pool. I know I don't watch all of the Oscar noms every year because I'm lazy and hate awards shows. But
oh man,
Helena usually does.
This was going to be the year. Yeah, Helena usually does. This was going to be the year that I was on top of my shit, and unfortunately, the combination of seasonal depression and regular depression plus working at a grocery store during Christmas is killer. And I missed a whole bunch. That's not going to stop me from having opinions.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to approach the betting pool with kind of the blasé slapdash opinions that the Academy often has, which is, I didn't see most of these, so I'm going to pick the one that I think should have won based entirely on, I saw these three, or I heard good things about that one, so, fucking Academy, you know where I am, come at me.
Turn on your location.
And if we get around to it, we may post that as well. I think it would be fun to have, like, everybody do, like, a betting pool and be like, let's see what happens.
I think we're gonna definitely post those. Yeah, I think we'll definitely post our we usually do what we think should win and our actual, like, logical predictions, which usually have very little to do with one another.
If God was good, this was what would win, and then I think the Academy will probably pick this.
So that's pretty much it for us on this episode. So thanks for hanging out with us here at Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneopleatthemovies@gmail.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk more about, or a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or you really want us to convince your friend to watch something, we are totally down to do that. Drop us a line, come say hello, and we'll see you at the movies.